The eye candy on this one, what's that supposed to mean? The eye candy's gone. The demon suddenly jumped you, oh, and somehow turned into an assassination plot. You have no choice but to fight the army in self-defense. Oh well, more experience points for you. Hey everyone, I told you I learned from my mistakes, and that is true. This video is actually mixed better, and you can actually understand what I am saying. This video is about Bad in Theater. This is just the first part to a multi-part series. I wanted to have a full-depth video of the first stories so you actually know who's who and what is going on. This was streamed on Twitch, as you can tell from the chat messages that you will see. I had my chat do polls for all the decision-making of all the actions that we went through. But I hope you guys enjoy this video, and further ado, here you go. Alright, we have 4 options to play here. Who are we going with, chat? We have the hero, the maiden, the underling, and the overlord. Close your eyes and point. No. I shook my mouse so much it's on the wrong screen. Okay, well, I went to the wrong screen. This is closest. This is what we're going with. You're the Overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think. Except for those pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. There's even a role called Hero, whose whole purpose in life is just to dethrone you. What's their deal anyway? You've actively avoided pissing off the humans in hopes that they would leave you and your army alone, but they never do. You're still new to the whole Overlord thing. If you're being quite honest with yourself, you don't really understand the politics of it. But you remind yourself everyone is just doing their best to fulfill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being the evil overlord they expect. You think you're pretty cool and mature to hold yourself to the higher standard like that. One of your underlings walks into your room, totally interrupting your thoughts about how awesome you are. They're saying something about how boring it is to stand in one place guarding the castle all the time, especially since no one ever comes here anyway. You see their point, but the way they're whining about it kind of bothers you. What do you do with this underling? Do we grant them the day off, chat, or do we tell them to get back to work? Do we grant them the day off, or do we tell them to get back to the mines? Get back to work! You give them a lecture about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. Your servants ought to do what they're told, whether they like it or not. They look really unhappy with you, but you're sure they'll thank you for this later. Venturing too far from the castle tends to spell death. You dismiss the underling and lie down in your nice and comfy overlord bed. All that lecturing made you want to take a nap. You fall asleep pretty quickly, just another one of your amazing talents as the overlord. You wake up to a huge commotion outside. A hero has shown up and started totally murdering your soldiers. What the hell, guy? You rush out into the battlefield to confront this jerkwad. You curse at him and very rudely inquire his reason for doing all this. The hero yells at you, demanding you return the maiden you're holding captive. You don't know what he's talking about, but you can't forgive his actions. You do battle with the hero, but he has grown strong from cutting down your army. You are unable to defeat him. With decisive swings, he stabs and cuts you to pieces. You fall. You have failed your subjects. You spit curses weakly. You wish you've been stronger. Maybe you were never suited to be the overlord in the first place. The truth was, you were never that much more powerful than the demons who served you. It was the title, the control that gave you strength. These are your thoughts as you are swallowed by darkness. Conquered Overlord ending. Whoop whoop. Being swallowed. Nope. Cat, I feel like you would be a wild person to have in the other streaming service. The eye candy on this one, what's that supposed to mean? The eye candy's gone. You are a maiden. You live in a peaceful village next to a spooky demon overlord's castle. You are told that you are fated to be captured by the Overlord one day because you are a beautiful young girl. Demon Overlords apparently love capturing those. You think of how you haven't heard of that actually happening to anyone, but maybe the demons just haven't been given the opportunity? Who knows? You are in church, you pray to your God, asking why you have been born into this role of maiden. You respect the divine plan and all, but you're really just curious as to what the point of it is. You are impatient. Meeting a demon actually sounds pretty gosh darn exciting. Maybe you'd understand your role better if you were to just hurry up and get captured already. You leave a note and venture forth to find a demon just to, see what happens. Not long into your little adventure, a demon underling appears before you. It looks pretty scary. Befriend him? You tell the demon your name and explain that you are a maiden from the village. The demon suddenly jumps you. Oh. The demon suddenly jumps you and starts biting. A lot. How painful. This plan of yours was completely stupid. You think, why couldn't you have been more patient? Why did you go looking for trouble? You aren't angry or anything, of course. This was all your fault for trusting a demon not to devour you on sight. This is your punishment for questioning fate, you guess. Bit by bit, you are swallowed by the demon until you are no more. Swallow us, please. Nuke, you're on thin ice, buddy. You are a demon underling in service of the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. Your job is to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come all the way here to challenge the Overlord anyway. It's a lot of standing in one place staring into nothing. You feel like you're gonna go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the Overlord for a day off. She gives you an earful about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. You wait for her to finish her lecture before returning to your post. What does she know about anything? Who made her the boss of everyone? You complain about the Overlord to your friends. They agree that she is kind of a snob and totally deserves to be kicked off her throne. You only wanted to vent your frustrations, but the conversation somehow turned into an assassination plot. You should probably steer this in a responsible direction. Overthrow her. Okay. Let's do it! No, you're sick of this Overlord holding you and your friends back. You agree that it's time for a change of management. Your friends suggest maybe you should be the new Overlord. You like the sound of that. You announce your first act of rebellion is to take that day off like you wanted. Your friends aren't very impressed. You assure them you will talk more about the assassination thing when you get back, which satisfies them. You sneak out of the castle to have some fun. The change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along the path to the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She greets you and says she has a favor to ask. You consider your options. Hear her out. Okay, we got 2 hear her outs. The next one will be a poll. You're in a good mood today, and are rather curious about what the maiden has to say. Humans don't usually talk to you, so this is kind of exciting. You haven't guessed it would even be possible to understand each other before now. The maiden is going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. The bottom line from what you gather is that she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting. Besides, you have nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. The Overlord asks where you found this maiden, knowing full well that you left the castle when you weren't supposed to. You apologize for disobeying her, but hope that the maiden is an interesting enough present that you may be forgiven. The Overlord nods and says everything's cool as long as you always listen to her from now on. You're impressed with what an easygoing boss she is. You mention how you can't believe you and your friends were even considering overthrowing her. She gives you a look and you say, "That was just a joke, of course." She smiles and dismisses you. You decide it's about time for a nap. After a few hours of sleep, you're rudely awakened by the sounds of battle. You emerge from your room to find that a hero has slaughtered many of your friends and work associates. What a jerk. The event literally has a skull on it. What do you... No, what do you mean? There's no skull on it. I don't know what you could be talking about. Save yourself! You look around at the lifeless forms of those you've known as far back as you can remember. You feel glad to not be in their shoes. You also feel guilty to be thinking that as you flee the castle until you remember your role, not as an underling, but as a demon. This kind of thing is expected of you. Maybe you'll start a new life far away from any humans or demons, where you'll live peacefully alone in some deep dark forest somewhere. Deserter underling ending. You're the hero. You like to think of yourself as a pretty reliable and swell guy. Your life has been rather ordinary. Aside from the occasional heroic adventures, fighting evil monsters and whatnot, you are told a maiden from your village has been kidnapped and is likely being held captive at the nearby demon overlord's castle. Who even puts a village right next to where an entire demon army hangs out? You don't get it. You're happy to protect the townspeople, though you were born to play this role. You head off on your adventure to rescue the maiden, but demon soldiers block your path. You could kill them to gain experience. Murder! You make quick work of the vile creatures who stood in your way. You feel much stronger now. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. Okay, diplomacy is a full win. You attempt to explain why you've come, but the monster before you is eyeing you with suspicion. They can't help but notice the demon blood from earlier you haven't had a chance to wash off yet. Whoops. You have no choice but to fight the army in self-defense. Oh well, more experience points for you. You make your way through the castle, fending off all the demons that stand in your way. You make it to the Overlord's chamber and hope you're still in time to save the maiden. You find the maiden being held captive by the Overlord, just as you expected. But for some reason, you can't sense anything sinister happening. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Okay, heads or tails? Heads, we destroy the Overlord. Tails, we ask the maiden what's going on. Flippin' estrogen. Move your at. No. There, it's moving. What now? What now? Okay, heads or tails? We got heads. We destroy the Overlord. You lunge forward, driving your blade through the evil Overlord. She screams and falls silent. The Overlord has been slain. You smile, offering the maiden your hand. She takes it after slight hesitation. She must be surprised at how strong you are. You escort the maiden home. She's oddly quiet on the trek back to the village. She must be too shy to speak. The villagers are very pleased with what a good job you've done, slaying the Overlord and saving a hostage. They throw a huge celebration in your name. You are remembered for generations as the greatest hero the village has ever seen. Triumphant hero ending. Why is Box Lunch sending me emails? Let me mute that. Okay, let's stand back up. Reset the stage.
Hey everyone, Hito here. I'm not good with video endings. As you can tell, it kind of shuts off abruptly. I'm trying to get better at that, but I'm really not too sure what to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and stay tuned for the next part because that's when stuff starts to get really chaotic.